Hello, Cancer. Elsie here to do a reading for you. Cancer, I'm doing a reading about the in-between. We are kind of in between eclipses right now. And so that's the energy it's a really important energy. We've got this space and time between, the 7th of September, this past weekend, this past Sunday was the full moon eclipse in Pisces, which was incredibly powerful. And then we have one on the 21st, which is in Virgo, which is a solar eclipse, a partial solar eclipse. So this is the in-between time. And this time in between is a powerful, powerful time of manifestation. And so you don't have to manifest anything when it comes to an eclipse. And it is a time, though, I will say that while I was out at the cabin over the last 4 days, that anything we spoke about, it showed up in our path. So really be careful about what you're saying, how you're saying it, who you're saying it to, your thoughts, your actions, because these things have the power to manifest themselves. And some of these things may not be what you want. Right? So just be careful of whatever you're doing. Release control to the universe. And this is kind of like the rebirth after the release, right? After the full moon. Full moons are about release. So expect the unexpected. And be careful because you're a witch and you're speaking things into existence here. And this is sort of an emotional surge to help you let go of some things. This is the great sort of spiritual reset. It's going to be for the rest of our lives, and the things that transpire in these next couple of weeks or through the month of September, not just for on a personal basis, but in the world. And so in order to bring things into alignment for all of us, we needed this reset. So what can you do at this time? Well, you can pause, you can journal your dreams, you can journal, period. I would say distinguish what you can influence and then let the rest of it go, because you're not going to be able to change it. You're not going to be able to control it. What you can influence is what you can influence. Virgo encourages to clean things up and do some reorganization and let things go, accept what falls away, because Virgo is going to help clear your path. All right. Let's talk about what's going on here, and then I have a new deck to talk about here. So we have some luck that's coming up. If you believe in luck, it feels like whatever it is, it's of good rapport, and it feels like it is something that has to do with togetherness, or you may be speaking to someone you haven't spoken with in a while. You're going to be getting balance, possibly. We've got the Six of Pentacles here, so it feels like maybe someone who was breadcrumbing you previously is no longer going to be breadcrumbing you. We're bringing things into balance here, things that were sort of eating at you. It feels like something here is about to be resolved, because we are finding our way to making up to, we're finding a new direction. We're finding a way to reconciliation is what it feels like. And this could be romantic, this could be platonic, but we've got card number 42, which is a 6, and then we have a 6 down in the bottom right hand corner, 6 of Pentacles. We've got the 7 of Clubs here too, which is the 7 of Wands. So it does feel like this is somebody that we're talking about that I think that you've been very, you've been keeping behind the boundary, or someone that you've been sort of defensive with, I would say. And so, it does feel like you will be reconciling with somebody here. In this in-between stage. Got a new deck, and we're going to look at it. It's called the Places Oracle. It literally is places, but sometimes I'll look at those cards as being metaphoric, and sometimes I'll look at them as being literal. So let's find out what's going on here. Tell me about Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Cancer. There's somebody here that you've been in lack with, and I feel like you're going to get back on the same page with this person, whether it's just friendship or whatever it is. Tell me about Cancer, please. Feels like it's something you've been asking of the universe. It's someone you've been disconnected from, or someone that you detached from emotionally, or they detached from you. Maybe it was mutual. We've got church. Interesting. It's a spiritual sanctuary, sacred architecture. I'm going to say look for the signs and symbols. When we walk into a church, there's lots of signs and symbols that maybe is lost on some people, but maybe not on others. Oh, I just noticed that too. Charlie just said, what about the mirroring? You didn't look at the mirror. So we've got 2332. It feels like, I'm going to say that the person that you are coming into reconciliation with, I'm going to say this is kind of a... a mirrored moment. It's like you realize what you've done wrong and they realize what they've done wrong. I'm not going to say either one is taking blame. I'm just going to say it feels like it's going to be a mirrored moment. We're going to both accept our side. Church, right? We could have had an argument over religion. It could be an argument over what church is. Look, I was at the cabin for 4 days, and I swear, sitting at the water's edge, watching the sun sink into the horizon was my church. And so it feels like that there is someone who is arguing with you about what spirituality means, what the spiritual sanctuary is. It feels like maybe arguing with you about signs and symbols and whether those should only come from a deity or whether those come from the cards, or it could be an argument like we have some sort of fundamental difference about this here. Tell me more about Cancer, please. Maybe you go to church, maybe they don't, maybe vice versa, maybe you don't go and they do. We've got hospitality, comfortable stay, and traveler's retreat. It says it's a hotel. Oh. Church and a hotel. Somebody here is opening their home to you. It feels like they are saying, come on over then. If you want to talk, let's do it face to face. I'm not doing this with you over the phone or in text. It feels like you may have to travel to get to them. Maybe you live a distance from them, possibly. But they're willing to make you comfortable. We've got the bathroom here. What does it say? It says, oh, that's terrible. Blue on blue. Pristine cleanliness, water and renewal. Oh, very interesting. Someone here feels as though maybe you put the pressure on them to feel perfect, or maybe it's vice versa. It feels like it says pristine cleanliness. It does feel like it has something to do with a conversation, something you don't agree with another person. They consider one to be dirty and one to be clean. And somebody might be trying to recruit you to their way of thinking. Water and renewal in the bathtub in the church reminds me of baptism. Someone might try to invite you over into their home. Look, maybe you go there and the Mormon missionaries are there. I don't know. Like, it feels like somebody is like, maybe their elders are going to be there. It feels like they're trying to, it feels like somebody is trying to pull you into their world, tell you that you are unclean or that you need to be cleaned, or it feels like that, or that you can become perfected through whatever it is that they believe. They're saying to you, come on over, like, I'm going to make you dinner. I just want you to be comfortable. Let's talk about it over the dinner table. I feel like there's going to be other people that are going to be showing up in the meantime. I think that this river energy here, it says flowing waters and riverbank views. It feels like you need to go with the flow. Just be aware that somebody here, I feel, is looking at you as a spiritual being and saying, not telling you that you're doing the wrong thing, but telling you that you would be better off if you were to be doing what they said you should do. What is this? I feel like I'm supposed to look here. Yes, school. What is this? Rendezvous point. A meeting place. Oh boy. Somebody's living room. Convergence. Destiny union. Is that what that says? Yep, destiny and union. So somebody is pulling you back into their world, but it almost feels like it's conditional. I'm just going to say classroom learning, knowledge acquisition. It feels like it's conditional. I'm going to ask you to go with the flow. I mean, you're a water sign. You know how to do that, right? Let's look at tarot. By the way, I'm not going to be doing an extended on these ones, but if you are interested in a private reading, please look at the pinned comment. You will see everything that you need to know there. There's a link to Hypsee if you're interested in booking with me in a private read that is live or pre-recorded. All right, Let's find out what's going on. Tell me more about Cancer, please. I think you're a little bit apprehensive about what's going on here. And you're not really sure if you want to go, but you feel like you are in balance enough to be able to give a little bit of time, energy, effort. What's this here? Got the Death card. We've got the 9 of Pentacles. We've got the 10 of Swords. We've got the 9 of Wands. We've got the Knight of Cups. And we've got the Emperor. I just want to say right away as well, I grew up with a lot of religion in my life. I grew up in the church. So I don't have like a terrible outlook on it. I'm a hybrid. I am somebody who used to go to a church and I don't anymore, but I do practice spirituality. So I don't feel any type of way about that. So please don't take it that way at all. That's not what I'm doing here. I'm not trying to tell you that you shouldn't go to church or whatever, that you shouldn't proselyte or whatever it is that you want to do, because either way, I don't really care what you do. Honestly, you get to do what you want to do, right? And I'm not going to judge you for that. Okay, so interesting, because the church here brings up death and it brings up the 9 of Wands. Somebody's trying to save your soul is what it feels like here. So death and the 9 of Wands is like someone has a fear that should you leave the earth, that you are, not going to be saved, or that you won't be in the right place. I do feel like this person has been trying to get you over to their house. Now, I do feel like this person does have a vested interest in you emotionally. So it feels like that you've been considering on being brave and going there, but it's been slow going for you. It feels like that maybe if they are a distance, and maybe you have to fly to see them, or maybe you have to drive a long distance to see them, I'm going to say stay at a hotel. Maybe don't stay at their home. It feels like it's a long journey, and the Knight of Cups is here. It's a slow-moving journey, but it's a journey of the heart. So I want to say that you really love this person, whether it's platonic or romantic, that you really have sort of a bit of an adoration for them. But I feel like there is a lot of significant or fundamental differences between you and them. This could be a member of your family, right? This could be your mother or your father. This could be a sister or a brother. We have the 10 of Swords and we have the Emperor. I tend to think when we're talking about an emperor that we're probably talking about someone who's doing really well in their life and is used to taking charge of the situation, because they are an emperor and they run the empire. So they might be a person who runs large corporations. They might be a president or a vice president of a company. They're used to giving orders and used to people following their orders. So possibly they're a little bit out of their realm here, and they think that they can sort of tell you what you should be doing and that you will follow along. I feel like they want you to this water and renewal and pristine cleanliness, the 10 of Swords here. This person almost feels like a little bit betrayed because you have your own path in life. And I feel like they are someone who is your superior. And what I mean by that is they could be your boss, or they could be somebody who is the patriarch. So someone who is used to funding everybody's lifestyles in the family, or maybe they have a lot of material wealth and they expect respect because they have material wealth. This person could be someone who is quite unwell, and maybe they are worried about their own salvation, and therefore they're turning themselves toward you and your salvation because they're worried about their own. It feels like the Emperor has been does not want to have this ending come here. They could be someone who is also new to an organization like a church. I feel like they're, overall here, I would say, Cancer, they're doing what they think is the right thing. Like they're doing what they feel they're doing it out of love. Tell me what's going on here. I feel like you have found your way, and I feel like your life is quite balanced, and regardless of what they're doing with their life, I feel like there is a little bit of a rift here, something that's eating at them here. We've got the 9 of Pentacles. We've got the King of Swords. And we've got the Magician here. So this person, I feel, is used to making things happen. Whatever they say happens. We've got the King of Swords and we've got the Magician here. It feels like this person is used to talking people into things. They could be a lawyer. Maybe they're used to talking people into things. They have smooth words. Whatever they say goes. And I feel like this person is somebody that maybe you don't always get along with. This is someone who I feel possibly has built their material wealth. It feels like with the Nine of Pentacles here that they are someone who's very confident, sturdy and strong, has a lot of material wealth. And because of that, the King of Swords being here, it's like they might be a lawyer, a judge, or a magistrate. It feels like it's somebody who a lot of people would respect only for their title, not knowing who they are. So they could be someone who is also higher up in the church. It could be that. But I feel like you don't necessarily get along with this person. For the most part, you might just tolerate them because there are so many differences. It feels like this person is possibly bringing you back into the fold because they could be somebody who is on in life, right? They're getting close to a certain age, or maybe they're not well. It feels like this person here is wanting to bring you back sort of into the fold, I'll say, because the church card is here. They want to bring you back into the fold and they want to try and get you on track with them, doing what they're doing. Because the Nine of Wands is having fear, being behind the fear wall, and what they're scared of, I feel, is change or transformation, or maybe death itself, right? This person could be unwell possibly, and maybe they're not unwell, but maybe they're just aging. It could be that. We've got the Four of Swords, we've got the Wheel of Fortune, and we've got the Eight of Swords. It feels like somebody here has been sort of up in their head trying to figure out, they've been planning about what to do. It feels like they're a bull in a china shop. I'm just going to say that they kind of Rambo things, as Casper Sight would say. They kind of Rambo things. They just sort of bulldoze things. When they want it, they bulldoze it, but they can't bulldoze Cancer. And it bothers them that you won't do what you're told, because everyone in their life does what they're told when the Emperor tells them to do it. I feel like something is about to change between you and this person, whoever they are to you. Something is about to change between you and them, because I feel like with the Wheel of Fortune being here, something's about to expand, change, and it is destiny. It feels like with the Four of Swords that there is some healing that is supposed to take place at this time, and that you feel some kind of way about the invite, but I think you're going to go because this person never invites you. So it feels almost like they are a parent, a grandparent, a boss, like somebody who never includes you or invites you or wants to see you. And I feel like something's about to change here. I feel like you're hoping what's going to change is that we're going to heal this and we're going to get out of our heads about what's been going on here. But there is a bull back there. And so it almost makes me feel like you can't see it. That it, again, we've got, the bull, right? So it feels like you can't see the ulterior motive is what it feels like. So be aware, be careful that somebody wants you to come to their home. They're inviting you in a very hospitable way. They want you to be comfortable. Yeah, maybe you should stay in your own hotel. That's all I'm saying. Tell me more about this. We've got the Sun. We've got the Five of Wands. Yeah, I think that you will not stay at their home. You'll stay at a hotel. It does feel like there is something between you and this person that you've been carrying around for a while. It feels as though you've been holding back because you don't want the fight. You don't want the argument. But it also feels as though things are a little bit off balance between you and this person. And I'm going to say that with the Sun here next to the Knight of Cups, that you really do love this person. You really have heart space for them, whether it's platonic or romantic, that you really do want things to work out with this person. But it always seems that every time you get in their presence, they throw some sort of burden on you, and you end up being very sort of standoffish or feeling like hesitant. I'm not really sure if I want to do this because I'm going to walk in there carrying all these burdens, all these things I want to talk about, and this person is not going to want to talk about these things. They're going to want to change the subject and tell me what I should be doing as opposed to what I'm doing right now. So I feel like you get it. The sun is here, and it feels like this is supposed to be a happy occasion because they're inviting you over, asking you to come into the fold, but it feels like it comes with its weight. Right? It comes with this weight of a fight could break out at any moment. Tell me about the Emperor and the Ten of Swords. It almost feels like the Emperor might say, look, can we just end this? Can we release how we've been dealing with each other? Can we, I'm just looking at the bathroom, but it does say water and renewal. So it feels like, can we just clean or cleanse the whole situation? Can we just release it and can we try again? We've got the Three of Swords. This person has been going through anguish. It feels like they've been really heartbroken about something that happened between you and them. The Hierophant is here. It feels like this person sees you as a spiritual leader, but it bothers them that you are not in their church or that you are not following their lead because they are the Emperor. This person, it breaks their heart, or it really makes them feel like they feel like they've not done their job to teach you what they're supposed to teach you with the Three of Pentacles here. I feel like they want to build some sort of foundation with you. Maybe they want to learn about you, learn about what you're doing with your life. It feels like you have become someone that is very respected in your life or in your community, that you've become this really strong, sturdy teacher who always does the right thing. It's like you have a lot of respect from your peers, and this person wants to know why. Because they feel like they either raised you or gave you enough information that you should just follow tradition, and I don't think you're following tradition. Tell me about the Hierophant. I feel like you've released the traditions of this person, and I feel like they don't like it. We've got the Five of Pentacles, but it's really drawn a wedge. It's drawn a wedge between you and them, and it feels like this person might be getting on in age. They might be getting older. They want things to change. They no longer want you to be behind the fear wall. They want to be able to have some happiness with you, but I feel like this person has an ulterior motive. I'm just going to say, and then the Tower shows up. It's, it feels like things are about to shift here, but it feels like a hard shift because the Five of Pentacles is here. We have the Page of Cups here, and then we have the Six of Cups. Well, that's interesting because there's grandparents in the background. So it feels like there's something here that you don't see. I'm just going to say, Cancer. It just doesn't feel like it's all in the up and up. It feels like this person is like bringing you back into the fold. Remember all the time that we spent together, the nostalgia, the memories we have together. And then it feels like with the Page of Cups and the Tower that they're trying something new on you. So they're trying to introduce you to something new, trying to bring you into the fold. Feels like that. So I don't know. You can take that for what it's worth, but it feels like there is this in-between stage for you, Cancer, where somebody you're like, oh, finally, they called me and they want to reconcile. Maybe I should go over and take their dinner invitation. And finally, this is what the eclipse is bringing to me. Finally, we can be together as a family, or, we can reconcile this finally. But then you get there and it's a little bit of a setup. I'm just saying that this person is still the Emperor. They are somebody who's still heartbroken. They're still trying to pull you into the traditional fold. That's not what you're doing. You already have built your respect. And, maybe this is your father who wants you to work for the company that is the family company and you've never wanted to be. Maybe this is a farmer and you've never wanted to be a farmer. You've wanted to work in the corporate world. It feels like someone's trying to bring you to their thinking again. And this is like a repeat. So I think that what you're going to do is you're going to let the Tower fall. You're going to let the tower fall and you're going to say, you know what? Thank you. But no, it feels like this release here, when the tower falls, you're just going to let the illusion fall. You're going to go with the flow here, and you're going to let them look. You're going to be like, look, I have my own school. I'm teaching people. I am the spiritual leader. I have my own school. So thanks for inviting me to your home. But I've already picked my path, I was going to say. And then this shows up. This is the winding path. It says, curving trail, twisted route, meandering passage. You're just going to let this person say, look, we're just not on the same path. And I'm staying on my path, by the way. And I feel, it says here, heartbreak place. Somebody here is not going to be happy with you. I'm just going to leave that right there. Thank you so much for being here and watching, Cancer. I do appreciate you. I'm going to go for now. But I'll be back because I'm always back. And if you want that private reading, please check the pinned comment at the top of all the comments. I'm going to go for now. Take care, Cancer. Bye-bye.